looking back of the past 26 years, would you tell other people that you had a very happy relationship? Would you consider the past 26 years a very, very happy relationship?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back, I mean, there were bad times and tough times and, hospital times, but in a strange way, sometimes the worst moments for us were the most important moments now. Family members dying. I remember Ed's father's funeral very vividly, because there we were in the middle of this huge extended family, and it was okay. We were a couple in the middle of it, and people were the family was very accepting and supportive.
And if they weren't accepting, maybe the extended family wasn't so accepting. My brothers and sisters and mother knew that he was as valid a partner as those of my siblings, and that he deserved the respect and the position that their spouses had. And that both of our families have made those growth steps, in part because we, I think, are easy enough to be comfortable with as a couple.
And we're each fairly strong characters in our own families. So the siblings and the parents have been... I can remember at one point, I don't know if we had a discussion about it, but it came up, and that I said, if we were to be rejected, we have a big enough family. Meaning our extended family, the family from Boston and New York that we built around ourselves. But the truth is that never even threatened. The families came to visit us, the brothers and sisters, and now the nieces and the nephews are staying with us, they vacation with us. It's, we're included in that. And so, back to the original question, there are lots and lots of really fun times and vacations and trips and parties. We did a lot of entertaining in New York. We do some entertaining here. It's fun to know that people look forward to a party that we're giving. They expect us to give a good party, that kind of thing. And so there was a whole social thing that built around good times. But when there were difficult times, it was always great because you weren't going it alone.
I think what Les is saying is one of the core pieces to our success, and that is friends and family. Being supported by friends and family. Even though it took work to get our families to understand what we were and who we were and why we were.
And still takes work.
Yeah.
We'll do things that we still have to explain. They'll go, why are you doing that? And we'll still have to explain.
Right.
Our work now for the freedom to marry is taking a lot of explanation.
Yep. But that, I think, has been a piece of our success. We have brothers and sisters who are married, who have families, and we're competitive. We want to be a successful couple if they have successful relationships. I mean, I think, it's a fairly complex process, but I think that issue of families and friends for us has been very important. You ask if we are a happy couple or we are a happy couple, and I think that's definitely true. But you don't necessarily, in a long-term relationship, see, we live together,
we work together. We breathe there.
Because we're innkeepers, we're doing, we are much more together than most couples. And it's amazing to us that we have found a way to work and live together as successfully as we have. But
our staff might disagree with the success of that.
Exactly. We bicker. We sound like an old married couple sometimes. We had a couple here, 2 men who have come and had dinner at our restaurant many times, and they celebrated their 45th anniversary here a few weeks ago. And one of them was a Navy officer, and the other, I don't remember what he did. But, we spent a little time talking together. And they just, they bicker back and forth, and they, negate what the other has said. And, you wouldn't necessarily see the love between them. And yet, one has gone through cancer treatments. They moved because they needed to protect their assets for each other. You don't necessarily always see the love in a long-term relationship. I think you see the commitment. You see the comfort.
Well, and what it becomes comfort is, there is a security in knowing that it's easier to go on a vacation together, but it's difficult to go through some of the stuff that you have to go through when you're, running a business, living a life. And the whole point, I think, in having a partner, in having a spouse, is that other person is going to pick up your slack, and hopefully their strengths balance your weaknesses. And in doing that, when the tough times come, you even out. And certainly as the years go on, the high points may not always be as high, but the low points aren't as low generally either.
And when those come, that you'll be there for the other one. That security is a wonderful thing.
We do a lot of weddings here at the inn, and lots of times the kids getting married will ask us which I find fascinating, that heterosexual young people are asking an old gay couple, what's the secret to keeping a long relationship? And we used to say things like, well, we never got married in the first place. But Ed used to get upset because I would say forgiveness is a major thing. He thought that was condescending. And maybe a better way now, I've thought more about it now over the years, maybe the term is forgetfulness. Sometimes things happen and you just forget it. Just move on. It isn't because something in your head becomes so big and the other person isn't even aware that it's happening. And this goes on. We're talking decades into a relationship and this still happens.
And the other thing is communication. We have worked hard at talking,
We talk well, we don't necessarily communicate well.
Well, no, I don't think that's true. We keep working at it until we find a way to say what's important about, you dissed me, or I really do love you, or, whatever it is. Men, I think, tend to hold back and be protective and aren't necessarily as open as women. But I think we have worked very hard at saying what the problem is, or trying to say what the problem is, and eventually working at being together.